Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Chat, my weekly vlog series posted every Monday at lunchtime if you're in the UK, and I'm recording this on Black Friday for, I was going to say for you Americans, but actually even in the UK we kind of have Black Friday deals. Well, it's not even kind of, we do. We just don't have Thanksgiving. But still, if you celebrated Thanksgiving, I hope you had a nice time and hope you didn't get hurt if you went out on the Black Friday sales days. Do your shopping online, it's a lot safer. But anyway, yeah, hope you enjoyed. Also, I know that, well, in fact, I think I mentioned it in Let's Chat, Canada's Thanksgiving is what, like a whole month earlier? Well, either way, it was a holiday, it was an excuse to see your family, be thankful for things, eat too much food, and then laze about watching TV the rest of the night, am I right? Anyway, hope you had a nice time. And I don't have anything particular to talk about. Well, actually, that's not true. I did have one thing, but I was looking over the questions before I got started, and I still have them in the background here, posted in the comment section of last week's. And one of the questions actually kind of covers what I was going to talk about, so we can just cover it when I get to that. So let me just press newest first. What I can say is I've been playing a couple of new games that I don't really intend to do any coverage of on the channel. Maybe a Let's Look at most. Starting this morning, I got the new Pokemon game. It only just came out today, Black Friday, in the UK. I know you Americans and whatnot, I've had it since Tuesday, as you often do. Enjoying it so far. It's fine, and I'm hoping to be able to do a Let's Look at of it, because A, it will let me use my capture card 3DS prior to Monster Hunter 4 for something else, and B, it's just something that not a lot of people will have done, because so few people have the ability to capture 3DS software, at least do it well and do it, well, I was going to say legally, but let's just say less illegally than downloading a ROM, which is very, very bad and you shouldn't do it. But yeah, I'm about 3 hours in, which has gotten me as far as the first gym. I have a habit of always filling up on low level Pokemon early on, when really I think the pros, quotation marks, they run on just like 1 or 2 Pokemon until later when you can just catch higher level Pokemon. I don't play that way. I like taking my time with those games. And I've played one out of every generation since the very first, which is also why I would love if they gave you I was moaning about this on Twitter earlier, a way to skip the goddamn tutorials. I don't need to learn how to catch Pokemon every time. I don't need to go to the bloody Pokemon school and learn about status effects and which element does what. Just, when it asks, are you a boy or a girl? Second question, is this your first time taking part in a Pokemon adventure? Either I'm a beginner or advanced, etc. You know, it's just so tedious going through the tutorials every goddamn time when you've been playing these games for over 20 years. But whatever. Still enjoying it. I'll have more thoughts if I do a video on it. Not far enough to give any kind of, like, you know, concrete opinion. The other game I've been playing, I've mentioned this in some Isaac runs, I've been playing Dragon Age Inquisition. I like that game a whole lot. It's really, really good. Better than the second one. It was so long ago that I played the first that I can't really, you know, put the two up against each other and say one's definitively better. I liked the combat in the first Dragon Age, and to be honest, I liked the combat in the second Dragon Age. What I didn't like about it was they just went with let's throw wave after wave of guys at them. I hated that, but making it look more, you know, over the top, I loved that, and that's carried over to the third. It looks fantastic on PC, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I kind of regret picking a male human as my character though, because the male human voice actor is boring as hell. It's weird. I think he might have been told to deliver his lines the way he does, because there's also times where he gets angry in, you know, story related cutscenes I won't go into for spoilers, and he sounds good there. He sounds like he is actually emoting. He obviously has acting talent, and yet when he's just speaking normally he just comes across like a ponce, and I hate him. So I think I'll be going Elven or I don't really want to go dwarf, but anything to, or maybe just to try the female human voice. I don't know what, or rather who is doing the voice for the female human. But yeah, I would say avoid playing as a male human. The voice actor is, it's not that he's bad, it's just that his voice doesn't suit the character in my opinion. But anyway, yeah, really enjoying it. I've been playing it for like 20 odd hours now, and it feels like I barely scratched the surface. What I will say is there's too many side quests. You get bogged down in the MMO, go collect 6 obsidian and 5 iron and you'll get this arbitrary power plus 1 upgrade. Okay, whatever. And like rinse and repeat. Also, it hides what the main quests are, kind of. And I wasn't entirely sure for a little while how my progression was supposed to be going. But I've kind of got it sussed now. And some of the cast is interesting as well. And the voice acting, other than the one I just mentioned, is top notch. By the way, it's interesting, when I was writing for Critical Gamer, I didn't just review games. I occasionally got given books themed around games, like I did a Elder Scrolls book once, and I actually got given a Dragon Age book to do once, and one of the main characters in that book was Cole, which is one of the recruitable characters in Inquisition. And if you haven't read that book, you'll probably be quite confused about why he's at all relevant to anything and just randomly shows up, which is a bit of a shame because you shouldn't be expected to read additional lore that isn't in one of the games. But again, that's a minor point. For me, I was interested, like the second they said his name, I was like, oh, so that's that guy. How are people going to know that? I don't think many of the fans of the games will have read the book I read, because I wouldn't have read it had I not been asked to, although for the record it was a good book, well written, I quite liked it. But yeah, so right now, if I don't do a video on it, I would say that my first impression of Inquisition is that it's really, really good. I don't think it's worth paying, on PC at least, more than £40. The asking price on Origin of £50 is bloody ridiculous. So I would say shop around or wait to get it in a sale. But yeah, it's very good. Oh, one last thing to complain about. Although I promise it's very good. This is very nitpicky. But it's new BioWare. It's the EA BioWare. So what does that mean? Well, that means you've got arbitrary choices all over the place and not a one of them makes a blind bit of difference. Like, I got to this very dramatic scene at the end of a long story quest. Very dramatic, you're with two other people and they both say, run, we'll cover you. And then you get the choice of who am I going to tell to stay behind, they will die. And I stared at this choice and I thought to myself, I bet this doesn't make a blind bit of difference. I bet the person who I saved by not leaving to die leaves the second layer. And you know what happened? Exactly that. As soon as we got done with that mission, the person who I chose not to have sacrificed themselves, they had an arbitrary reason to go away. So my choice didn't matter because I was going to technically lose both people anyway. And that kind of thing bugs me. That's bad writing. And it's a facade of a choice because it's no choice at all. It doesn't matter which way you do it. It makes no difference at all. So as long as you go in knowing that. But that's enough talking. That's just the writer and me complaining more than anything else. Let's go to the comments. Dragonakis says that he sits in the corner and says horse. That must mean he said listen carefully. Kentic said happy 300. I wish I had 300,000. 30,000 subs. I think my first video viewers was the very first Monster Hunter video. And he's played Rebirth for 80 hours. What is my Rebirth time at now? Let me just double check this, clicking over to Steam. 35 hours. And you know, it doesn't even feel like that. It feels like 15 at most. Which I guess is a sign of a good game. Oh, by the way, this will be the first Let's Chat of December, however, it'll be right at the start of it, so I think I mentioned this last time. Patron shoutouts, etc. will be next week. But yes, thank you, and yeah, I think a few people who comment quite often probably found me via the collaboration videos. In fact, Matsumune attested to that right after. He replied to Kentic saying he did too. Came over from Dodger's channel when I did the Monster Hunter collaboration, and he stayed. I'm glad any and all of you did. I hate trying to be sentimental because I always get my words mixed up. CR said potatoes are stuffing and two people have wrongly thumbed this up. I'm just going to skip over that. Like a John. Flik, if you take game recommendations, when yes, or I assume he means if yes, you have to try out Rayman Legends. That's on the Wii U, right? Try the demo. When you like it, buy the full game. Don't worry, it's €20. I did hear that Rayman Legends was a good game. It's not my kind of game. I've never really been into Rayman, ever. But yeah, I have heard that one's quite good. But it's on Wii U, and I don't buy anything on Wii U unless I have to. Amy Spain, any PS4 owners with a PS Plus membership, Binding of Isaac Rebirth is free to download. Ah, by the time you hear this, yeah, it'll be the 1st of December. It won't be anymore. Although, well actually no, does the backlog still apply? Like if you get a PSN Plus membership in December, does the stuff that was free in November still apply, or does it only apply during the month and then, assuming you have your membership from then on? I get the feeling it's the latter way I just described, so if you missed your chance, you missed your chance. That said, it's 25% off on the Steam sale currently, and it should still be when you hear this. If not, it'll be 25% off again in the Christmas sale, or even better, probably. It's already sold fantastically for them, so I don't think Edmund would shy away from lowering the discount amount even higher for Christmas. Lowering the discount amount even higher. That feels like it should make sense, but I don't think it did. You know what I mean though. Jason Anino saying congrats on 30k Flik, thank you very much. Also Weird Musician, thank you. And Stormkiller72. Well deserved, here's to many more, thank you. And then we have Matsumuni doing another question, or another comment rather, but this one does have questions. So let's read this. Hey Flik, congratulations on 30,000 subs. I remember you were close earlier this year when YouTube removed a bunch of accounts. I think the most I ever lost when they did like the purge of closed accounts was only like 200 or something, so that's not a huge amount. I'm looking forward to the next series playthrough since I haven't heard of either of those games. Wait, what did I talk about last time? Oh, wasn't that the Hour of suggestions? I did try and do an Hour of Nosgoth, but as you'll have seen by now because it's posted, it fell through because we tried to film it on a night where they were having matchmaking problems, so we did Risk of Rain instead. We might still go back to Nosgoth though. Question 1. Where do you read/get most of your gaming news from? I admit that Kotaku... don't read Kotaku. It's my primary source for games, and Engadget is my tech resource. I can't speak for the latter, but I would say ignore the former. It just regurgitates popular posts from Reddit and Tumblr, and makes up lies to get clickbait headlines, or clickbait stories rather, because they get paid by the click. So don't ever go to Kotaku, ever. They are a horrible, disgusting site with hack writers who are just interested in generating as much money as possible and have no morals. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make a living, it's just I take issue with how they do it. Since you used to write game reviews, do you have a bias for any certain websites, or do you go to multiple at all? No, I try and avoid all gaming websites because in one way or another they're all pretty terrible. I mostly get my gaming news via press releases now because I'm on press releases lists, press site lists, whatever you want to call them. I registered with, you know, Square Enix, Ubisoft, Namco, etc, etc. So anytime they send out a press release, I get it. And, you know, it's the same ones that sites like Kotaku get as well, and then they regurgitate into a story. That's part of the process. But no, that's how I get most of it, or I follow their official YouTube channels, because if they post any kind of new trailers, they'll be on there. And at a kind of a stretch, our games on Reddit is probably the limit to where I'm willing to go. That usually links through to proof and whatnot. It's a bit more, I don't want to say adult, but you know, it's how I wanted to say this without insulting anybody. Our games is the slightly more mature version of /r gamings, or r/gaming, whatever, where you can find good news reporters, and also again where Kotaku steals quite a few of their stories from. So if you don't have the liberty of signing up to press releases or mailing lists for press releases, I wouldn't be comfortable suggesting anywhere beyond /r/games on Reddit, really. I mean, if you have to look at those sites, I encourage you to use things that make their ads not play, because every time you click a title that they've baited you in with because of the way they've worded some stupid thing, you earn them money that they do not deserve. Also, they are corrupt as sin. And then Reaper left 2 comments. He actually left one 3 days ago, and he told me earlier because he was bored at work he left another one, and it's the second one that ties into what I was going to talk about anyway, so let's do his first one. I think you should do an hour of video of Dragon Age or Far Cry 4. I don't have Far Cry 4, so I can't do that, and Dragon Age is an EA game and they are a bit dodgy with YouTubers, so I try and not do any coverage of EA games anymore, as I think I talked about last time in relation to Hardline. I think that was last time. Maybe it was in an Isaac video. They all kind of blend together. And I would like to see your opinion on it. Here's a question. What is your favourite challenge in Binding of Isaac Rebirth? I have not done them all yet. Oh, and what is your most hated one? Of the ones I've done so far, no, I can't answer because it would spoil some of the ones I've done that haven't gone live yet. So ask me again once I've done them all, which will probably be a little while because I'm mixing them in rather than just sitting there doing one after the other. But yeah, I'm not comfortable to say it because it would technically be spoilers. So, I mean, you could technically ask me, you know, ask me on Steam or something. I can tell you on there if you're still curious. So anyway, your other question. Now that you have about 30,000 subs, just over, what would you say is the hardest thing about being a smaller channel? And by the way, I do still consider myself a small channel, compared to some other Polaris people like TB, etc. I would say that you should never be comfortable even if you have a lot of subs, because subscribers technically, did I say technically enough times? Technically, don't matter. What matters is views. And if you go by views, I actually have an exceptionally small channel. Yes, I have a lot of subscribers. Why, when I post 2 videos a day, does a higher percentage of 30,000 not watch them? I have no idea. And I have frequently asked people to try and work it out for me because I can't, and I've spent years trying to do it. So that's not related specifically to what you were asking, but yeah, it's great that I hit 30,000 subscribers. I love hitting milestones like that, and I wish I could have done something better than give away a few game codes on Twitter, because as it turns out they all got stolen by bots and I didn't realise that was a thing. It's good to celebrate, but at the same time, every time I hit a milestone like this, I'll obsess over my analytics and be like, oh, so yeah, I'm still getting by basically on the massive successes I had years ago. If I was getting by purely on what I was doing now, I wouldn't be able to do this. And there's nothing, I don't want to complain to the people who listen, because you don't deserve to hear me whinge about it, quite frankly. It frustrates me. It irritates me that I can't work it out myself. I can't work out the answer. The most basic question, like, let's just boil it down to the most basic question. Why, if I have 30,000 subscribers, do barely 0.6, I worked it out a while back, 0.6% watch each video I upload, when the industry standard, or even half the industry standard, should mean that I'm getting at least, say, about 1,200 per view, per video, not per view, that would make no damn sense. I don't know why it's not that way, and it should be. I mean, from a pure numbers perspective. Especially when Google removes dead accounts. So therefore, if most of my subscribers, just decided to make other accounts or just don't YouTube anymore, they would have been removed by now. I don't understand. Maybe I'm bad at SEO, or maybe I was bad at SEO. It makes me wonder sometimes if, because when I kind of made my name on YouTube, when my channel got big, I was all about anime games, maybe that kind of ruined it. Like, at the same time as making me be able to earn a living from YouTube, it also kind of pigeonholed me in YouTube's clandestine SEO, whatever you want to call it, working away in the background. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I was going to try and guesstimate there. I honestly can't. But yeah, the problem also when going up against larger YouTubers is that they have SEO. They have search engine optimization. Because they have so many views per video, their videos will always be at the top of SEO lists. Occasionally, if it's an obscure enough game, or you just happen to somehow get there first, you can get high on SEO, and that just makes you skyrocket if you manage to do that. It's also sometimes things you do years ago can just suddenly come back, and sorry if you heard that, I was moving something off my desk. Sometimes something you did years ago can just suddenly do something for you. Like, you want a perfect example. I did, in fact I can give a few examples. I did a bunch of what were they called? The things in Arkham Asylum. Yeah, they were challenge runs, or challenges, weren't they? I was getting confused with Rebirth. The challenges where you have to take out guards in certain ways. I did a few videos on that way back at the original release. So when eventually Arkham Asylum came back out on PC, people started searching for solutions again, and I already had good SEO from the console version, so my videos started getting more views thanks to that. Very recently, Valkyria Chronicles was released on PC. It's a very good game, by the way, highly recommended. And as a result of that, a video I did literally years ago, we're talking about, I think it was 2008 or 9, it was very early on in the lifespan of my channel. I did a video on Valkyria Chronicles showing a very easy way to use the skirmishes to get lots of XP. And what do you know, it suddenly started getting more hits and more comments recently because people who've had the PC version are Googling or YouTubing, how do you earn XP easily in Valkyria Chronicles, because the game is pretty damn hard. So it just shows sometimes you can leave yourself a little nest egg without even knowing it. And do I think that, I don't know, like say 3 years from now, suddenly my channel's going to take off and then everybody will want to watch my playthrough of Borderlands, a pre-sequel? Probably not. But I still enjoy doing it, and I don't want to get pigeonholed again. That's why I'm very careful to always upload something else other than just Isaac, because as much as I like playing Rebirth, I don't want to get pigeonholed into just doing that. I don't want to be an Isaac guy. I want to be a gaming guy. I want to do lots of stuff, because I play lots of different genres of games. Right now I'm playing Dragon Age Inquisition, I'm playing Pokemon, I'm playing Rebirth, I'm playing a bunch of other stuff for Let's Look At and whatnot, and there's just... I don't know if maybe the variety that I like is also a problem. I don't know. Maybe it is. But that's the last question on the comment section of last week's. Feel free to leave a comment or a question or a topic or whatever else. Also, this is kind of like an ongoing thing. If you ever have something to suggest that you want to see an hour of, feel free to comment or just let me know Twitter or on Steam, etc. This has been a bit of a rambly one, I guess because I had so much in my head I wanted to say and I got caught up trying to think of the best way to say it. I didn't want to come across as negative because what I don't want to do is piss the people off who do watch me by complaining about the people who don't. And I think I may have accidentally done that today. If I did, I'm sorry. That's not what I wanted to do. Thank you once again for sticking around if you did. I'm very pleased to have hit this milestone. Here's to many more, and a good end of the year. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I shall see you next week. Ta-ta for now.